I have said this time and time and time again. You have to really just be point blank because I have no idea if a woman's hitting on me or not. He kind of tells his backstory on earlier videos. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a comedian. He came out with a viral video that is just funny as hell. I haven't been following him for a while, but he was living with this girl, and now it sounds like, like they're no longer together, so his crush wrote him. And this is the same thing that happened to me. I'll kind of give you a parallel. So, my fat ass, I lost some weight. My best friend, I had a crush, the biggest crush in my life, on his sister. Biggest crush ever. Like, no other girl mattered. I mean, I'm talking about, I used to go, so, runner-up to Miss Teen Colorado used to come to my job and just sit there and wait till I got off of work. And she used to have her grandfather come and bring her there. And just wait till I got off of work, just to hang out. This is the runner-up to Miss Teen Colorado. I mean, you're not exactly ugly when that happens, okay? And yeah, you know, I liked her, but this girl, like, I had known her since I was like 5 or 6. Like, I had gone to church with her and her family. She was a couple years older than me. Her brother and I are about the same age. Never gave me the time of day. So I came into some money, go take my family out to Disney World, bring her back like $5,000 worth of gifts from Disney World. Got a kiss on the cheek. I felt like the happiest man in the world. I was like, hell yeah, I got a kiss on the cheek, blah, blah, blah. And it was all for naught. So my buddy goes off to the Marines. Thank God, Lord kept him safe. And you know, they get their 2-week leave. And so it had been about maybe, like, I was still hanging out with him and his family, but not her. She was, you know, nowhere to be found, and I, you know, was kind of like put off, whatever. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get this fat ass of mine and lose some weight. So I was always very aware that if you lost weight so quickly, then you get that really, you know, excess skin, and then, you know, that becomes a problem in its own. So I was still really young, so I did that shit slow, nice and slow and steady. And then I had a buddy of mine who, I never did steroids because I didn't want to be all bulky, you know, but taught me how to lift weights, tone up, make sure that I didn't get that loose skin. And since I was so young, the elasticity stuck, so I was like, cool. So didn't get that loose skin, lost weight very slow. From the time that I had last seen her, I was 330 pounds. From when I seen her, when my boy got back, I was about 235, 240, somewhere around there. And all of a sudden, tables have turned. But you know what? I'm not a player. I'm not an asshole. Never have cheated on a woman. I just think that's one of the worst things that you can possibly do to somebody. I don't see how you can tell somebody in their face that, oh, hey, I love you, and then the next minute you're there with another dude. I don't get it. Like, I wouldn't be there with another dude. I would be there with the chick, but still, like, I just do not get how somebody could do that. But, like, she was the apple of my eye. She was, like, the everything. So he calls me up. He gets back for his 2-week leave. Him and I used to love singing together. And I had just, you know, was in the music industry and everything. And I used to have somewhat of a voice, but him and I used to go sing karaoke and do all this shit. And he had a really good voice. And so we did, we sang a song together a cappella. And we crushed it. Everybody was shocked that we sounded that good. And that night I get a call from him. He's like, hey, my sister wants to know. And he didn't even have to finish the sentence. I'm like, of course. Like, why the fuck are you asking me? Of course yeah, whatever. And he's like, he starts laughing. He's like, yeah, she just wants to know if she could have your number. I'm like, of course. Like, why the hell are you asking me this? So she was always there in the back of my mind, no matter what girl I ran into. I mean, I had gotten extremely close with Miss Homecoming at my second high school. There I was, constantly in some very weird positions with, like, what everybody considered like the most drop dead gorgeous girl that they have ever seen me with, who wanted to get married at the age of like 18, and I was like, that is way too young and I'm not prepared for that kind of responsibility. Then there I was with Miss Teen Colorado, runner up. So like I had fucking blinders on, like I had no idea if I could do this, do that. Like I was like not. When you grow up that, or you grow up insecure, people can relate with this. If you have like body dysmorphia, or if you're like fucking insecure about something, you're always gonna find a reason why you're not good enough for somebody else, and that's exactly what you'll be hearing from this Mr. Zach Rushing here. I totally understand where he's coming from, because you do. You feel like no matter what you do, you are never gonna be good enough for this person, and so. No matter if it was Miss Teen Colorado, if it was I've always called her the Russian girl, but she's more than that. She was actually the one that I should have been with, because she seen me when I was a fat ass. She loved me for who I was. She didn't give a shit. She wanted to get married, and I mean everybody. She would make crowds stop and just stare at her, even more so than the runner-up to Miss Teen Colorado. And I mean, they're both gorgeous, but the Russian girl like had her like none other, like beat like none other. Like I remember walking to aqua golf, and it's just this where you hit, you know, golf balls in the water, you know, you see how far you can drive, this and that. And guys, like you can just, as her and her sister are walking around a double date, you just hear the club stopping and sweep past each and every one of them. Back to the biggest crush in my life. So she calls me up. This is when I used to still drink. She's like, hey, we should go have a beer or something. I'm like, I'm right there. Where do you want to go? You know, whichever one to pick you up. I'll be there. So I go and pick her up. Now, at the height of my crush with her, when I was bringing her back $5,000 worth of beers and all this stuff, I would bring her, every single day that I seen her, a long stem rose. And this was when 7-Eleven used to sell long stem roses. Long stem rose every day. Didn't matter? Nope. Didn't matter. But I did it. And as we're sitting there, mind you, this is when, you know, it took a lot to get me buzzed. First beer in, I just straight up asked her. I'm like, so this is kind of awkward. I'm like, you asked me for my number out of the blue. You haven't spoken to me in years. Seen your boyfriends, and the quality isn't quite there. I'm like, why now? After all these fucking years, why now? And she's like, you want to be honest with you? And I'm like, yeah, that's all I've ever wanted. Well, because you're better looking. What do you think a guy would normally do? A guy with self-respect. F you, I'm out, take a taxi home, be safe, nice knowing you, hope you're, you know, hope you find what you're looking for. Nope, not me. Nope, didn't learn my lesson. So, she comes to my house, we watch Mighty Ducks Part 2, she falls asleep in my arms. When she leaves, I get my very first real kiss from her. We dated for about, 3-4 months or so, somewhere around there. And oh my god, I totally miscalculated everything. So I'm the type of person that I try to limit my mistakes, but the mistakes that I have made have been fucking monumental. So listening to him right now, and you'll see in some of his comments, they're like, oh, don't be so worked up, don't worry about it. I know exactly where he's coming from. So give this guy a listen, and you'll see where insecurity comes from guys like him and I, because I know he has talked about in the past struggling with weight, things like that. I don't necessarily struggle with that anymore, but I did. And like I said, I had real bad body dysmorphia, because I just felt like no matter what I did, I was never going to be good enough for anybody. personality doesn't go a long way. Who gives a shit about personality? But later on, a girlfriend in high school told me, and this is just a friend that's a girl, like, yeah, girls liked you, but you just had your eyes, fixated on one girl, which was the Miss Teen Colorado runner-up girl. And I'm like, well, shit, it would have been helpful if you would have told me, or at least pointed it out and gave me, some pointers. Oh, well, I kind of liked you too. I'm like, oh, so nothing, nobody helped me. So just listen what this guy has to say. My life story.
I got asked out on a date. I don't know what the fuck to do. I ain't done this shit in years. Are you kidding me? I am in my 30s now. We don't date. Who dates in their 30s? Most people have got their life like completely figured out by this point. They're married with kids or divorced and they're living their fucking best life, or just living wild and free and shit. How the fuck do you date in your 30s? I wasn't even good at it in my fucking 20s, or I wouldn't be here. And it's even worse than that. Now every person has a crush. I have a fucking crush. Okay? You never expect your crush to even remotely be interested in you. Ever. I woke up this morning and this woman is so far out of my fucking league that we're not even playing the same sport. Okay? I'm playing badminton. She's in the fucking NFL. I don't know what to do. I follow her on social media. And I was just excited at the fact that she followed me back. That was cool to me because that means somewhere in the stratosphere that she had seen my face. I thought that was cool as shit. I woke up this morning, got on the phone, looked at it, had a message from her saying, hey, been following you, love your content and everything like that. I appreciate the support on mine. We should go have dinner. I almost went into cardiac arrest right there. You don't understand. I don't know what to do. Do you ask her what her favorite fucking color is? Or do you just ask her to marry you? She is so far out of my fucking league. And all my boys are married. And they've been married for years. They are completely out of the game too. I'm the last of the Mohicans. Okay? I'm the last one that's not fucking married with kids. They are zero help to me because they're giving me advice that we used in 2009. I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm going on the date. I'm not passing up this opportunity. I might be getting catfished. I need to go check, make sure that was her real account that she messaged me from. Because, they do be trying to get some credit card information sometimes. I don't know what to do. I'm a little bit worked up this morning because this don't happen to Zach very often, okay? Because she's, like, really, really, like, tall and, like, fit and beautiful and pretty hair, and she sounds sweet and all this type of stuff. And she wrote me first, so I'm going to have that. I'm gonna have that on my mind forever. And if let's say we do kick it off at the first date and everything goes well, and we live a happy life, get married, and have kids, and just one day the kid's gonna be like, "Mommy, Daddy, how'd y'all meet? TikTok, because your dad was too big of a pussy to write your mama, so she wrote him." I don't want to go down like that, but if that's what it takes for me to to get with her, then I'm in on this because I got to drive like 300 miles in order to go to this date next Friday night that I've already accepted. And I don't really, no, it ain't next Friday, it's the Friday after that. I am so, she gave me way too much time to think about this. I'm sweating. I'm starting to smell like dumplings. This is not going to be good. Dating advice for people in their 30s, don't. I'm just going to bring an engagement ring. I'm going to ask her to marry me. I'll buy her a baby cow.
I like that again.
Not going to be good. Dating advice for people in their 30s, don't. I'm just gonna bring an engagement ring. I'm gonna ask her to marry me. I'll buy her a baby cow. I'll buy her anything. Jesus Christ. Okay. I need to go buy new clothes. Shit.
Oh my God, I love him. He is so fucking funny. I feel him all the way, man. Oh my God, the older you get, the harder it gets, and I just continue to question every single thing. Like, I will see a cute girl, you get the vibe of whether or not, like, okay, if they call, if they text, cool. You get to know them a little bit, but if not, then, nah. What can you do? You're not going to force anything, right? But yeah, it sucks. The older you get, dating sucks. It's just because you've probably gone through so many different types of I don't want to say men or women, but you go through all that shit, and it's like, really, this again. You just want to find that special one, and so the way mine ended, nobody would ever believe. So I'm not even gonna go that deep into how mine with my biggest crush ended. But let's just say at the end, all the years that she didn't find me attractive for my weight, let's just say she married somebody who was fat or is fat. So I put so much stock behind that. But you know what? Even though I initially lost weight to be more attractive to women, it was personality supposedly. So I don't know. But this just had me fucking rolling. If you guys haven't heard him before, I'm going to follow this up with what really got him popular. And I'm surprised. He used to have a girl that he would like have on here all the time. Like, I wonder if they just broke up or something. I don't know. I don't get in people's personal lives. I just thought, like, huh, that's weird. Usually he has his girl on here with him, but I haven't seen him post in a while. So maybe, yeah, maybe he just moved on. Maybe they moved on. It didn't work out or something. She got jealous. Who knows? But nonetheless, I feel what he's saying. It sucks dating as you get older. Do it while you're young. Try to find somebody and just don't depend strictly on looks, please. For the younglings out there who might follow me and listen to me, do not just depend on looks because it's so much more deeper than that. You got to really find somebody who you can mesh with because personality does go a long, long way. But this dude is funny. I'm going to follow it up with the very first thing that he had posted that got him on the map with this. He's a traveling comedian now, and I'm glad that his crush reached out to him. Hey, it is what it is. He's in that position right now. I've said this a million times. Wherever I go with my career in music, I just do not want it to change the landscape of all of a sudden girls like, oh my God, you're blah, blah, blah. No. I want to have been able to have met, somebody that I like, for their personality, for, their charm, for whatever it may be. And, I always try to lean back and not like, be calling, all the time or texting or things like that. It's like, then you start to get to become a bug, and I can see where he's coming from with that because he's like, she's giving me too much goddamn time to think. So I hear where he's coming from. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll be back with the very first thing he posted because I'm sure for those of you guys who don't know, he is funny as. So until that time, I'll be right back.